Hi, I'm Jason Barnard and I'm here to talk to you about one article that I found today on Search Engine Journal. It's this one. This is Structured Data by Roger Montti. I love the title, makes me think of This is Spinal Tap, which is one of my favourite films of all time. But it also talks about my favourite topic in SEO at the moment, and it's structured data. Structured data sounds really boring, but Roger explains it incredibly well, and he gives a great description of what it is, how Google uses it, and why it might be useful to you. Here we go. First, what is a structured data? It's a markup language. It's structured information, data. And then he goes on to talk about schema markup and how schema markup helps you structure, organize the information on your page for Google to make it much easier for Google. What he then does is talk about the relationship that Google has with structured data, and it's a really close relationship. Google loves structured data. Structured data is basically Google's native language. The machine can digest it and understand it like that. So it's a really good idea to use it because you're communicating with the machine in a language it truly understands. And he goes on to talk about how Google actually uses it. And for you, this is the visible result that you get. It's the rich results in the SERPs. For example, the review stars or a recipe or in stock or the price or the date of the publication or the update of your article. And that's really great. It actually goes way beyond that because you're explaining to Google what is in your page in its native language. So it truly understands and it's confident it's understood. And that's crucial. If Google is confident it's fully understood the solution that you have or the answer that you bring to its user's problem or question, it's much more likely to present your content as the solution to that user's problem or the answer to their question. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for Google to recommend your answer or your solution. And structured data schema markup really helps with that. He then goes to talk about JSON LD. I love that because it's my name. And ever since I first came across it, whenever anyone says JSON LD, I always turn around because I think they're talking to me, but obviously they're not. And he gives this example. The information on the web page, as a human being, this is just so easy to read and it's so obvious. And I think we forget how hard it is or can be for a machine. Google has probably understood most of this, but it probably isn't sure that it's understood. And that's where this bit of code that Roger's kindly written for us that explains that same information in a format that Google will understand, we're certain it will understand, and it will be very confident it's understood. So in the case of somebody looking for a window washing in Massachusetts, we'll be sure, or Google will be sure, that it is offering that service on that page. And it looks, as Roger rightly says, it looks rather complicated. And it scares a lot of people. But there are two things to remember, one of which is because it's rule-based, because it's organised, which is what Roger says earlier on, it's organised incredibly strictly, so it makes it difficult for us to understand to start with. But once you've understood it, it becomes incredibly simple to actually implement. And the good news as well is, of course, there are lots of great tools out there to actually implement schema markup. A few that I can mention: Schema App, Canadian company, InLinks, Sticks and Jones from Majestic. There's WordLift. I personally love WordLift a lot. They're an Italian company. They're really, really, really smart bunch of guys. And another one I just discovered today was schema.dev. They've got a nice plugin, and I'll show it quickly on the browser. There you go. It actually helps you understand and read. Here I can just click on article and it shows me the schema markup. So it's a really easy way to visualize it. And here's another one that I got, this one, which reads directly, and it checks the structured data. And it's a really nice, easy way to be able to read that structured data in a more human readable format. It's a news article, and we can see here all the different properties that it has. And as you can see, once it's presented like this on the right, as opposed to on the left, it's much easier for us as humans to understand, and it makes a lot of sense. So don't be scared by the code. Get through that first painful step of getting used to how you write the code, and it becomes just like another language for you. It's simply an easier way for Google to understand. And if you can make that effort for Google, Google will probably make more effort for you. So thank you for listening to that. That was an absolutely lovely article by Roger Montti, and I loved reading it this morning, and I was so happy with the title. Thank you. Speak to you soon. Have a lovely afternoon, evening, morning, or night.